This is Tell Me What to Read, powered by Booktopia. I'm Nick Wasiliev, and today we continue our series of podcasts related around Booktoberfest, Booktopia's biggest festival celebrating all the best new and exciting books coming out in 2022. For today's episode, Sarah McDuling sits down with Nazeem Hussain, author of Hy-Larious Hyena. Check the show notes below for timestamps for the interview, and if you are enjoying our show, you can drop us a review on Apple Podcasts or a like on Spotify. Wherever you are listening to our show, let us know what you think. Now, over to Sarah's interview with Nazeem Hussain, author of Hy-Larious Hyena, which you can order in the description right now from booktopia.com.au as part of our Booktoberfest campaign.
Hello, my name is Sarah McDuling, and I'm very excited to be sitting across today from the super talented Nazeem Hussain to talk about his brand new book, Hy-Larious Hyena, or should I say Hy-Larious Hyena?
You know what? I feel like I'm going to get asked this a lot, and I haven't even thought about it because I was like, it's a good title to read. Hy-Larious Hyena. What do you reckon?
I think I like Hy-Larious Hyena.
All right, that's what it is now.
From
now until forever, it's Hy-Larious Hyena.
Decided by me,
because
who had nothing
you.
to do with the book.
Your fault.
Wow, I feel special. This book is actually very well named. It is extremely funny.
Aww.
I wanted to ask, I guess, before we start getting into it, would you tell listeners a little bit about what they can expect from this book?
Well, you can expect a story about a pretty cheeky, naughty hyena who comes from a pretty massive family of hyenas, intergenerational, a lot of pranks, I hope a lot of laughs. It's intended to be a funny book that will make you laugh out loud and want you to turn the page. You know, you want to turn pages to get more laughs, basically. So
You have succeeded.
I hope so. I mean, I hope there's a story there too, but I feel like it's funny first and then story second.
And where did the first sort of spark of inspiration come from to write a kid's book and this particular one?
I was thinking of my kid, Issa, who is now 4, at the time was 2, I believe, or just over 2, and he was very interested in animals, just loves animals. Now he's really into dinosaurs. You know, just when we used to talk and play, I would often inhabit an animal character, and I would be talking to him as an animal. And he just found that hilarious. And he found me doing animal characters more funny than me being funny dad, which was a bit hurtful because I was like, what about me, son? I'm funny too. But no, he liked the animal versions of me better. And if I turned into me, he'd be like, I won't be the hyena again. And so I'd be a hyena. So it was really just, just writing through that lens, trying to figure out what I thought would make my kid laugh. And he was only 2 at the time, but this is obviously for an older age group. But just really thinking of a book that I would find fun to read to my kid, a book that I would enjoy reading as an adult as well and as a parent. Thinking about my own experience. I guess you write from what you know, and I'm a bit of a prankster. I often take jokes too far. This is the story of this hyena. Harry, he's just always causing mischief. Actually, when I first started doing stand-up, I wasn't even a stand-up comedian. I used to muck around in the community, whether the Muslim community or the Sri Lankan community. If a projector would break down, they'd be like, Nazeem, get up, talk to them, be funny or something. So I'd get up as a teenager and just make fun of anybody in front of me. So look at this uncle, he's bald, ha ha ha. Or look at what she's wearing, ha ha. And I'll just say anything that will get a laugh, not really knowing where the boundaries were. It was only like later, as I get told off, that I'd learn what is tasteful and appropriate and what is hurtful. That's kind of the story of this guy, the main character here.
It's a thin line in comedy though, right? Between what's appropriate and what's funny.
And sometimes it's never apparent until you find out in a comment online or on Twitter. So, you're constantly... And, for me anyway, what I find funny is probably inappropriate. And I think it's often stuff that treads that line between what's acceptable and what's not. And, for a comedian, I think that's almost your job to walk that line, sometimes cross it, test the waters, push it,
So born out of a hyena alter ego that you made to entertain your son.
Yeah, it's basically the hyena version of me.
I love it. And is your son a fan? Have you read the book to him already?
He's been so excited about this I wasn't sure if he's just excited about me talking because I was excited when I talk about it. But when the books actually arrived, I've got a small bunch of copies at home. He was genuinely really, really excited. He's like, "Oh my God!" Because the working title was Harry the Hyena. This is Harry the Hyena. He was super pumped, and he's still 4, so reading a book that's intended for say 7 to 11-year-olds, I guess. I wasn't sure if he'd completely connect, but he loves it. We read it at nights, so he's really pumped, and I'm still like, is he putting it on because he knows that I'm really excited about? But
nah, he's 4.
They don't know how to lie yet.
That's genuine praise.
Yeah. So at the moment, this is like the best couple of weeks of my life.
Now, the book is illustrated by the amazing Heath Mackenzie.
Oh.
What was it like working with him?
He's an absolute genius. I honestly thought the story was pretty fun and funny, when I submitted my text to him. But what he has done is genuinely way more impressive than anything I could have put down. He's made jokes that I didn't put down from my words. He's brought characters to life. I can now see them in ways that I didn't even imagine in my own head.
Wow.
He's actually people use that phrase, bring to life. He has he's really done that for me, and I don't know how he does it. I actually it's a language, and he speaks it better than anybody.
Was there anything that happened in the illustration process of the story that really surprised you?
There was. We could go through chapter by chapter. There's something funny in everything, but one that just comes to mind straight away was when Harry talks about his sort of history of pranking and how he started off doing pranks when he was a little baby in diapers. And there's just the way he sort of depicted that in picture form was way funnier than just Harry hiding behind a tree in diapers as he pranks some animals behind him. Like, it's way funnier, and the visual, like, I sort of wrote with the visuals in mind. I sort of tried to describe them, but he's just taken it to a complete other level, and that's why he's seriously, I would say, the best illustrator in Australia. No disrespect to any other illustrators, but I'm like a massive fan of his work. So yeah, it's a real honor. I just don't want to ever I need to be his best friend. That's basically my aim, because I just when you just like, you're a fan and you're like, I just want to be his mate forever.
I love it. It's a beautiful beginning of a friendship that will bring us many, many books to sell.
Let's hope so.
So what was the process of writing the book like for you compared to, other creative endeavors that you've had? Was it?
I'll say first up, it was the easiest thing. Sorry. It came much easier than I ever expected, and it's probably been the most enjoyable thing I've written ever. And the thing that's easiest for me to do is probably stand-up, but in hindsight, this was way easier for me because I naturally talk to my kid, and I think I probably am a bit of a kid's entertainer. I've just never done that professionally. And when I wrote this, it just came out so easily. It's almost like the first draft of ideas was great because I write with like a free mind. I'm just like, I'll just write the ideas out and I'll think about it later. I'll come back and hack at it afterwards. That's how I write stand-up, or just pretty much everything else. But with this, I sort of went back and I was like, oh no, the tangents and the weird stuff sort of works. So yeah, almost like that first brain dump was the best version of any pass that I made on any of the chapters. So the process was basically, to take it right back to the start, Scholastic got in touch and were like, would you like to write a book, Nazim? We think you'd be a great author. And I was like, I don't know if that's true. And also, I'm very busy. I've got a lot of live work. I'm on stand-up tours and this and that. Sorry, guys.
Can't just write a book.
Can't just write a book. And then lockdown happened. And I was like, actually, I'm very interested and free.
What amazing timing.
Exactly. Oh, I've always... So then we met up and they basically said, do you have any ideas? And I sort of described this idea to them and sent that to them. And then they said, how about you just give us a sample chapter? So I just basically didn't spend a whole heap of time. I just slapped down an idea. I slapped down a chapter. I just basically wrote what I saw and what I thought the pages would look like. I said, this would happen, then you see this, and then I wrote dialogue or whatever and sent it to them, and they said, oh, great. How about you give us a second chapter? And I thought, are they just trying to
Get a whole
say
book out
no?
of it.
Yeah, I just thought they were just trying to find a really long way of saying, nah, I don't know. Maybe we'll give them another chance. Maybe the second chapter's good. So then I wrote the second chapter, and they were like, great, we love it. And then it just that was basically the process. So it was sort of like, I was sort of explaining the book to them as I was writing it. And then I just went away and wrote the rest of it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was a fun new experience, and it all felt really exciting at the time. And it's still, I've, don't want to give too much away about what's next, but yeah, it's been.
What are you allowed to tell us?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Series?
I don't. Oh, yeah, this is the first book in the series. So actually, yeah, there'll be more.
Yeah, but not yet clear how many.
Not yet clear how many. We'll see if people buy this one. Please buy it.
I think they said.
But I've written the second one, so the second one's on the way.
I can't. This book really feels when you're reading it, like it comes from a place of love. Like hearing you talk about that the character was something that you made for your son, I think it really comes through. That there's a lot of heart in this book.
Well, thank you. There's the actual his best friend / cousin is Mina, and that is based on my sister Asmina. So she's my younger sister, by she's a year and a half younger than me, and we've been partners in crime forever. And I'm always getting her in trouble for the things that I do. So there's that relationship which I've tried to capture there. Like, they always have each other's back, but maybe at one point she's just like, I think you have actually taken things too far. She sort of keeps him honest, but she's always there to pick, to...
You have to have the voice of reason.
Voice of reason, yeah. But she's also a bit of a wannabe Harry, and, I mean, in real life, my sister is a much more accomplished... Everyone's like, why are you the comedian? Asmina's the funnier one. So... But there's also like, there's an old Uncle Mo character who's like Harry's dad's uncle, and he's in a way sort of the patriarch of the tribe, and so he's I've tried to write him in broken English because I grew up in that kind of ethnic community where they are from a bit of a marginalized place, the pits, where they're kind of broke, but despite that they all have a great time and they make fun, and so it sort of comes from that experience. And always think of the grass is greener where people are richer and wealthier and have everything. So, there's that nemesis that he's got with Larry, who's a lion. But they both want what the other doesn't.
Harry and Larry.
Yeah, Harry and Larry.
Can't wait to see how that pans out.
Oh, God, yeah. I wonder whether they'll become friends.
Could it be? Surely not. Oh, it's really lovely, and it's got a hell of a cover, like really sparkly, really bright, really attention grabbing. It's going to go out into the world with all that bling on it.
The cover is so cool. Like it honestly, they say don't judge a book by its cover. Please judge this book by its cover. You should. Yeah.
And in fact, I don't really believe in that as a thing to say. Maybe don't judge people by how they look, but do judge a book by the cover. A lot of work goes into the cover.
I agree. Yeah, like I appreciate a good cover.
It is a strong advertisement for the contents of the book.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like posters, like shop fronts, like facades for your house, like anything. There's thought put into stuff like that.
100%.
So judge books by their cover, but literally just books.
Yeah, nothing else. Everything else, contents. Contents are more important. I mean, in this case, the contents of your book match the amazing cover.
Look, do you actually say this to all of your interviewees?
I don't really go out of my way to do podcasts with people whose books I don't love.
Okay, great. So some people are like, hey, what's going on with that podcast, Sarah? You're like, so they should take the hint. Microphone issues.
No, I saw first pages of this quite a while ago and was really excited about it. I think you always have like a good feeling at the start of a series when you're like, this is going to fly. And I certainly feel that with Hy-Larious.
Oh my gosh, you have high expectations.
I do. Oh my God, punning.
There's a lot of hype. But no, look, I hope people buy. I hope they buy this book. Seriously, I've sent out a few advance copies to some friends, and getting back some photos of their kids reading it makes me so excited. I'm like, oh my God, do they like it? And one friend just sent a photo saying, my kid read it in one day, and she was like, your friend Nazim is actually quite funny. And she's like, well, you'd hope so, otherwise he's got no job.
Your friend Nazim, the comedian, is actually quite funny.
The actually is like, well, I'm not sure whether that's a compliment.
Oh my goodness. So I imagine in a lot of, like, you must be used to like more instant reactions than publishing a book.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. So, I am so feeling uncomfortable about this whole thing because it goes out there at the passive rate that books are read, you know? So I'm like, I can't see or hear their laughter. I'm relying on parents taking photos and tagging me on Instagram.
It must be very different.
Oh gosh. And I'm doing some like I'm doing like a Muslim Writers Festival, and I think I'm speaking at some schools, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. I've never done this before. I have to read to them or something.
You can, I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do. I feel like you'll know what to do.
Yeah. I think once I get up there, you know, I'll have to. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm going to make like
do a reading,
puppet.
like really seriously.
Hello, chapter 3. What have we learnt, guys? About
that is a good question, though. What is your hope? Like, not necessarily what they learn, but like, what do you hope this book, a kid takes away from this book?
I think it's like, I think family. You know, family are the people around you that love you. Life isn't perfect, but you know, you can make do, and you can find the fun and joy around you. But most importantly, that happens when you think about others. But also, yes, the grass isn't always greener, and but it's worth exploring. You know, I think it's okay to be curious and to, you know, like Harry goes, I don't want to give it all away, but
no spoilers.
No spoilers. But yeah, there's like, it's. I think it's okay to just be yourself. You don't have to, like always follow the path that maybe is laid out for you. Tread your own path, as Scott Pape from the Barefoot Investor says.
What an excellent quote.
It's like a financial quote, but do your own thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a question at you that we haven't discussed. So you can refuse to answer it if you want.
My BSB and account number. No. CBC. Anyway.
I just need you to write that down for me. We don't need to record that. No, I wanted to ask, what were some books that really were your favourites when you were growing up?
I like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Roald Dahl.
Oh my God, he's so good. And I'm like, I think I'm a chocoholic, which is probably, look at this.
It's probably that book's fault.
It's a book. There's like a bowl of chocolates in the other room, and I brought it in here because I was like, I want to be close to this bowl
That was just
chocolates.
smart. If you left it out there, other people might have eaten it.
So true. But as a kid, like loving chocolate and still loving, just the book really was way more exciting for me than the film. But just the way he wrote, the characters, kind of like, he really explored dark themes, but in a way that only he could. I also like the BFG, the Big Friendly Giant.
Yeah.
So Roald Dahl was like pretty, I just loved his books. I inhaled them.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. What was yours, can I ask?
Oh, gosh. I think the first book I really remember loving and staying up to read, like sacrificing sleep, which you're happy to do as a kid.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there was much of a sacrifice.
You went to sleep at 9.
Was Hal's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I've only just
that.
seen it, but did you read that? Wow.
Yeah, it's a great book and a great film.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those times where I remember my mum coming in a few times and being like, turn the light off. And so, which was then begun a long time of turn the light off. You've got school tomorrow.
When did you get it? Did you get into reading like from a very young age?
I love how that you've started interviewing me. This is amazing.
Sorry.
I think so. I mean, my dad read to us when we were like many households. My dad worked and my mum stayed at home.
Mm-hmm.
So the time that we had with Dad was bedtime when he would read us stories.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I remember always really loving books but really getting into it, in my teen years, which is probably the exact wrong time to become a nerdy reader.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, it's either that or like breaking windows.
Yeah, I had two paths in front of me. And I was like, I think I'm going to read Hal's Moving Castle.
And then throw that book through the window.
A combination. I like it. Rebel Reader.
Rebel Reader. Oh my God, you're coming up with so many titles. That's a new book. Well, that's like a book club.
Nazim.
Anyway.
It is a book club. It exists. There's a Rebel Reader book club.
Oh, okay.
I can't take credit for that.
Oh, we'll plagiarise together. I plagiarised Scott Pape and...
Yeah, we're doing well. Nazim, it has been so fun talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
And you were saying at the start of this that by the time we finish recording, maybe behind us,
there are going to be a pile of books for you to sign. Now, at the time of recording, these books haven't been signed. So if you're listening to this, they may have sold out. But the way to find out is to jump online at Booktopia and just check to see if we're still advertising signed copies. Because you're about to sign a whole big pile.
I'm about to start warming up this hand. The left hand, though, that's the problem.
Get ready. You might need acupuncture in your hand afterwards.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready. Thank you, Sarah.
And everyone listening, you can get your copy of Hy-Larious Hyena by Nazeem Hussain at your local bookstore or wherever they sell good books, including online at Booktopia. Thanks for listening and never stop reading.
Thanks to Nazeem Hussain. You can order a copy of all books mentioned in this podcast in the description below, and if you are enjoying our show, you can drop us a review on Apple Podcasts or a like on Spotify. Wherever you are listening to our show, we want to hear from you. Booktoberfest runs until the end of the month, so you can head over there now. We'll include a link in the description as well to check out the best of new, exciting and upcoming books in 2022. We'll catch you for our next episode next Tuesday, but until then, thanks for listening and never stop reading.